So, has everyone done any mob? Who's done some mob programming? Okay, only a few people. Cool.
That counts.
Mob programming, if you've ever done pair programming, it's kind of like that, but just add more people. There's obviously one role that's a little resource constrained, so there's only, the way we'll work it is sort of like I figure we'll try having a driver and then a navigator model, and we'll swap the driver out every 5 minutes, so we'll have to get someone on a timer or something like that. The idea would be that the driver doesn't make independent decisions themselves. So what that means is, if I'm up here and I'm typing, I can talk to you guys about what I'm doing and make suggestions, or you can tell me what to do, or I can ask you questions. But I shouldn't go, well, I think we should actually do this, and then decide to do it myself. Now, we've done a little bit of this before here at Alt.net, and we did TDD, and that worked quite well with this model, so I'm hoping it'll work well. There's a few extra people here in the audience tonight, so I'm hoping that we can manage to have one conversation going between mainly you and the driver. The driver needs to be able to understand what you guys are suggesting, and you guys kind of have to try and keep it coherent, I suppose, or fight it out amongst yourselves. What I'll also do as well, I think, when the timer goes off and someone changes in, we'll have to just do it on a volunteer basis. We might just do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down, this is working, it's not working. And if we start to see a lot of people thinking this is not working or I'm not enjoying it, we'll take a time out and I'll come back up and ask people what they think might make it better or how we might go about changing it. Is there any other rules that anyone thinks or ways of doing this anyone thinks we need to make sure this is the best experience we can have tonight? Obviously as well, if you are enjoying it, stay, contribute, we'd love to. If you're not, you don't have to stay either. You know, feel free to get up and leave. If you'd like to get up and have a separate conversation, you can do that as well, but maybe just go over into the breakout area over there a little bit so that we don't get too much background noise here and it makes it hard to hear what's going on in here. So don't feel like you're stuck here. You're free to move around a bit as well. Anything else? Cool.
Talk about FSharp.
Yeah. So I think what we've already got over here is a Hello World FSharp application. This is just File New Project FSharp app. And it goes, you know, when you hit play, as a good Microsoft app does, it spins up and sort of prints Hello World. We probably won't be able to see it. You're going to stay open enough. So we'll add a read line at the end there so we can still see it or something like that. But that's sort of going to be, I think, the world we might start playing in. In terms of a problem to solve, I was thinking something like FizzBuzz. Is everyone vaguely familiar with FizzBuzz? It might be a good start, right? So FizzBuzz is a problem. Maybe I'll do that over here so we can refer to it. So FizzBuzz, how does it go? So it counts from 1 to 100. So it's if number is divisible by 3, print fizz. If number is divisible by 5, print buzz. That'll do. Huh? Yeah.
Oh, and if it's like 385, it's FizzBuzz, right?
Okay. Right. So, with that, we might give it a crack. Does anyone want to be the timekeeper and keep 5-minute timer going? Yeah. Cool. Cool. So you can just shout out when it's time to change. Yep. So go.
Here's a hands on also sharp. Stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we can add a read line, so it doesn't just instantly close on this. It's still .NET, so you can still do system web console.
We even get IntelliSense in F#.
You've got to open, you've actually got to call.
I've got to call it.
Read line is a function that takes no parameters, so you have to pass it. You have to pass it unit.
Which is what those brackets are. All right, cool. So I've got red squiggly still. Is it just catching up, or?
Is it whinging about something?
You have to ignore the zero at the bottom. You have to pipe it to ignore.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
So every line in F# is an expression, so the expression has to go somewhere, right? The only things that are allowed to sit on their own are expressions that evaluate to a unit. So what does read line return? I can't even remember.
The string that you've read, yeah.
It's like, so yeah, if we just want to throw it away in this case, in which case what we can do is just pass it to ignore. Maybe let's not start using pipe.
Just press Control F5 whenever you run it.
And then why don't we just put ignore at the front and put brackets around the rest of it.
So ignore is the function.
So that's because you're constantly taking a return. Every expression has to have a return on it.
Yeah, well that's the definition of expression. That's something that returns.
Yeah.
It's when you evaluate the expression, you get evaluated at the end. Right, so you generally have to assign it to and give it a name or throw it away. What's it running about now?
Tab.
Oh yeah, no tabs.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't know where you got why it's tab.
I'm just going to turn on white space.
It is on. Yeah, it's on.
Oh, I can. All right. Yeah, you're right. How do I change that?
Oh. The system works. Text editor.
Tabs or spaces.
Yeah. Text editor. Expand that.
No, expand it out.
Yeah.
F#.
F#.
Now we're wearing
Tabs. Yeah.
That should not be an option, right?
Insert the characters that are invalid in this well.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you're returning unit kind of like returning void?
Yeah. Except
Yeah.
that unit is actually a value.
Yeah.
It's just that the compiler doesn't let you have an expression that returns something other than unit without giving you an error, because if it returns something, you want to do something with it.
Yeah.
The only thing you don't care about is unit because it's meaningless.
Defined as such.
Yeah, it's like, who cares?
Okay.
If you want to be really anal, you could put do in front of that. And do is just being explicit by saying, I expect this. So if you put do space, that's being explicit in saying, I expect the expression on the right-hand side of the do to return unit.
Okay.
So if you were to get rid of the ignore there, it would run here as well.
Right. It says the result of this expression is implicitly ignored.
So you get a warning out.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So would you say Control Shift F5 is it to run? Is that what it said?
Control F5, but you've already got a read line, so you don't
Yeah,
need to.
that just
so
avoids
just
the
F5.
Oh, okay.
And you press the function button.
Yep.
Yeah. Press the end. Yeah. Now press F5.
Yay. All right.
See, they say F# can't be used for real software.
So what's the next thing I want to do? It doesn't have to be the F# version of what we need to do, but what do we need?
Somehow Fizz.
New
So-
function,
Somehow loop a function.
or just function to check what the divider reminder.
Okay. Do you want to have a go?
Not there. FM 1. It's probably, we can crowdsource the answer.
Is someone posting this to Stack Overflow yet?
Oh, I hope not. So, okay. Yeah, sorry. Just habits of the
So you're going to
keyboard.
create a function to check a number. Is that what you said?
Yes, I assume. So, well, either a loop in the main or a function that checks the current number and returns either FizzBuzz or FizzBuzz or just a number.
Okay.
So, I'm listening. That's probably so. Yeah.
Yeah, let's.
Do it.
That was quick. Let's just function name. Let's check arguments.
None.
None.
NUM.
None.
None.
There,
No, we're functional now. We should call it N.
Yeah.
One letter.
Yeah.
I call the function C.
Okay.
Let's see N.
Let's see. If you will put this, it will sound like let's C# rather than F#. Okay, so and just the standard math.
Let's just do if n equals 3 or something like that. Let's just check the 3.
I think with the same, something like that.
Only one equals FSharp.
It's one
Okay.
You also don't need those parentheses.
I think you use a space instead of parentheses.
Space instead of parentheses. Can I just, sorry, to make it. That doesn't break the code, right? Just in case. Meaningful white spaces. So. What's the,
I think it's FN.
sorry?
Print FN.
This new line?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I'm wrong.
So you'll need it then before the. You have to write then for the
Okay.
Visual Basic.
Visual Basic.
That's okay. Or
On the
Same line?
same line? Not allowed?
It can be the same line or if it's down, it has to be indented. So F#
Sorry?
is, it can be on the same line, but if you want it to go down a line, you need to indent it. F# is white space. Blocks are defined by white space, so you don't have curly braces, you just indent.
I think I'll put
Probably
check
not.
back.
Yep.
So
Um,
then
reorganize it so all this is above the entry point.
it has to be above the entry point.
Yeah.
In short
Or
term.
just grab the entry point and shove it at the bottom.
So you can only ever refer to something that's higher than where you're using it, with some exceptions. So that includes files as well. So
Okay, so-
the order of files in your project is it, because only later files can refer to things in earlier files.
Interesting. So am I allowed to use else if or
You can go else if.
well it's dumb implementation I assume.
If you want to take both FizzBuzz,
Yeah, well. So what should I do? Yeah, I understand.
remove else.
But then it will print on the separate lines.
That'll be
So
alright now.
that's not actually allowed. You can't have an if then without an else. because what does it do?
You can if it doesn't have a.
Yeah.
Else void, else nothing. Like, can it skip the
Don't
else?
you have to put a unit? 'Cause it
Print
doesn't,
it in the build routine.
will it compile?
Yeah.
Can we
Go
leave it
back.
off and see if it works? I thought we needed an else.
Sorry.
We needed an else every time. So I could be wrong.
Go back and try what?
If you put it in,
Yeah,
just
there you go.
continue.
So after the 0 for the print, put it then.
Exam before.
And before or after?
That was your timer going off.
That's done.
Okay. Here you go.
I'm in your hands, no pressure. I can't think.
Scratch your left knee.
Then after the 0.
Then after 0.
You could use either.
Yeah.
Instead of if.
Buzz.
Yep.
Now we're screwed.
Yeah, we go. And now we need a for loop.
And you can follow.
Oh, you still got a print number.
Function, you need to start with something like enum.range from 0 to...
So do you want me to do an enumerable dot range? You guys are driving? Okay.
So you can check the number.
Yeah.
Is there a range syntax?
Yeah, there is. You can go square brackets. And
Let's do that.
Oh,
Let's do
thank
that.
God.
dot dot. And the end.
If the
Correct.
Yeah, it includes 100.
Unlike these others.
Correct.
Sorry?
Do you want that above the read line?
You do want to do that. Now look through it. Check. Yeah,
check and
Try it.
Check.
Check.
life with the check.
No, you need a part.
Pipe.
F5.
You've got one error.
You'll have
Do you have to find check and return
Do we have to pipe check into ignore?
you have to map over it.
Oh, right.
That's going to apply check to the
Oh,
whole
to the whole list.
Yeah, so
Yep.
expect
Can we pipe it into map check?
on the
Like that, or?
I don't know.
We've still got
Map lives in the
Start with basic how to call functions.
map lives in the list. No.
No.
If you do list dot map,
Or lowercase?
uppercase. So switch those two around.
And now do we close it?
So it's ignored at the moment. Or implicitly ignored.
Explicitly.
F5.
5, cool.
So in your warning.
Pragma disable. And
So that's not really doing what we expected to.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Yay!
Done, let's go.
That's beautiful.
FizzBuzz, FizzBuzz,
That's
FizzBuzz.
about right.
80%.
Do we have?
You probably need to return on some of
I
these
believe.
leaves.
We should all get jobs at Google.
Well, I can read both fizz and buzz there, but no fizzbuzz, nor numbers.
And also we're producing a list of units. So
First conditional.
the interesting thing about list map,
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're basically converting each element in that list to something else, and check returns unit. So what you're getting is you're taking a list of 1 to 100, and you're getting a list with 100 units in it, which is
Cool.
useless. So what you actually want is list of iter, which will basically just iterate across the list and throw away whatever you return.
And that's why we're getting the warning.
Yeah.
The code would have been right, the printout would have been right, yeah?
And that's, yeah, so it would have worked because you were doing a typeface. But
Yeah.
it was moaning because that expression was returning a list of units, and it's like, well, you asked for this list of units and you're not doing anything with it. What's up with your shit? So if you change it to list iter will just return unit because it assumes you don't care about return from the check function.
Should we fix the check function? Because it's
Yep.
At least output N, I reckon.
to make it.
At some point,
Should we make it else if and then have a FizzBuzz version? And then also
Yes.
print the number if it doesn't match. You probably will need taking it.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, start with.
That's surely
you could make it a.
Start with 15.
Well, and just like that statement and divided by 5.
Yeah. So come on, someone get up here.
Just walk away, someone will have to stand up or nothing will happen.
Someone go fix it.
Going from the back.
Yeah, go on, man. Get it.
All right. Haven't done F# before, so
You
we'll
leave all
try.
those heads there.
Where's the mouse? Oh, all right, cool. So I
Change the fuzz to a fizz.
all right. Looks better right now. So ideally, I want the check to actually return the string.
Well, so
Is
maybe just let the audience tell you what to do.
Yeah, do that.
Okay. So let.
Control Y, Control Y, Control Y. Control Y. Control Y. I thought he deleted. Control Y.
Like this?
Keep on going, keep going, keep going, a little bit more, tiny bit more. One more, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Fizz.
So I do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
we'll come back to that. Approach.
And then else. What's the else?
else
Yep.
else just fn print fn n. Cool. That should.
F5.
No errors? Oh, there is. What? It's complaining about this.
Because now you're actually returning you're returning a string.
Ah, yes.
It's
It said
expecting
something like this to string. And
It takes a format string like a C style. So you can put %D inside a string.
put
String
And
complicated.
a
String?
string %D.
Set D in the middle.
percent d
Yep.
And then
n.
After the string. After the string.
With a
Space.
space between.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Run it.
F5.
Function F.
String interpolation.
you can put %A, which means do whatever.
Hey.
Cool. Yay.
We know everybody. So there was an interesting suggestion for maybe a slightly different way to approach it up the back. Do you guys want to have a crack at that one now?
Yeah, so rather than printing there, just have a function that checks out. And then you don't print in the function.
Yep.
Format
Return a string.
to the number in that function.
Remove all the printfs.
So might be better off maybe create another function let map to FizzBuzz. That take a number and
You copy everything below.
yep. I'm not sure if this works because it works in Elm. How do I define a variable? Never mind. Yeah.
So I think we can just delete all the print ends from the
Yeah.
what we need.
I'll just do that.
Just do it.
Cool.
Do you need an S printf or something? Or?
Typical to or just string.
And then that.
Oh, okay. What's this?
It's a function called string.
Function called string.
Get rid of that format.
And get rid of this.
All right. Cool.
Now change either to map.
And
Map it to printf.
Yeah, so back to
oh, pipe. Yep. Pipe to list.iter. Oh, just printf. Print.
I guess you're gonna place that maps to the list.
yeah, just editor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iter, and we pass in.
And you have to put a format string for it as well.
Use %s.
Is that a string?
Oh wait, dollar.
No magical
Percentage S.
Percentage s. Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
It's pretty finished now.
He's boy.
What we need to map and data. Map converts it from number to string, and then but it's still list.
Someone else going to take a shot? I reckon we should be able to simplify that function somehow. That
Yeah.
back up.
Yes, for
Because that takes the
No, I never shot that.
someone to printf, which is the upper list.
You'd have to like.
Piping doesn't.
You'd have to join the
Piping doesn't.
Let's refactor.
Yeah.
Where's the mouse?
Touchpad.
Okay. Easy.
So should we use a match expression or?
Alright, what do we want? Should we go up to the function?
we want this as
Use a match. Yeah, use match expressions. Would it? You'd still have the repetition though, right? Of checking for both as well at the same time.
So get rid of this.
We should use active patterns. Yeah.
Delete the top these lines.
Active patterns.
Deleting these.
I don't know.
I think we're still trying to work it out.
But you can create variables to represent modulus 3 and modulus 5.
Yeah, remove that repetition.
So where do you want me to create the variable?
if it's not
Inside the
print and then we'll so basically start from the bottom.
Okay, so
Wait.
If it's not divisible by this,
not like that.
yeah, and not like that, then print the number.
So I think not is like that. It's not a it's not a basic.
Think
Oh, we do it differently?
think SQL not.
It's like less and greater.
Yeah.
Like QBasic.
Like SQL.
Oh, you
SQL.
you say not?
No, the two
Classic.
brackets. So that's something.
Less than equal. Oh right. Okay. Sorry.
Empty HTML tag.
Like that.
Yep, and then the other side.
Both, no equals.
Yep, take them.
Okay.
Get rid of the equals. Get rid of the equals.
No, but it's not complaining. Leave it.
That's it.
Guys, I was born in '93. All right. Like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
I think you need to change to or in between.
Yep.
Because now you flipped condition, so you need to flip the binary logic.
Put an S in front of string.
Yeah.
Yep, so change the double ampersands to 2.
So this might be
Yeah.
There's got to be a web service somewhere.
Cool. So we've inverted the statement.
There is.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Yeah. Like one service came out. Like easy. Just you have
You have to
actually
put all the logic down.
So the last else there.
Get rid of that.
It's not divisible by
So now get rid of the else's.
Restore them.
I guess.
So maybe one string that appends those two.
Error.
You indent the first, where you got else if, move the if in the else under another line and indent it.
Like here.
That, yeah, drop that down a line, yeah, put it there and then put fizz indented. And then get rid of the other else. That's not working.
There you go.
Yeah, put an else in front of that one.
I'm trying to say, if it's not divisible by 3 and it's not divisible by 5, return a number otherwise. And we're trying to build FizzBuzz, but you can't.
We need
Yeah,
a.
you put an else in front of
Oh.
Then you should. I think they're trying to get rid
And
of
else here.
the FizzBuzz guys.
You get the variable that you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In that case, you want to put empty string.
I don't know whether that's worth it.
Let's start with it again.
Thinking outside the
I don't
box.
think that's making
New
sense.
function down a little bit further. Let fizz add.
Let.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let fizz n equal
And that returns FizzBuzz.
and then that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then put the n mod 3 equals 0 return fizz.
3 equals 0.
Yep, wrap that in an if and a then.
Oop.
I just remembered I've been forgetting to ask. You guys want to keep going on this? Don't care. Maybe we'll try something else. No, all right.
What's next?
Up.
So then says,
Can we call it Miss Fizzy?
but it's not good.
We'll call it Get Fizzy.
Then at the end of the line.
This line?
Next line.
Next line?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And then fizz.
String.
and you have to have an else case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and then
it's
else.
Empty string.
Empty string.
Oops.
And then make an is fuzzy, I'm guessing.
Just call the other one box.
Ah, Jesus. Is. Oops. Let. Is. Buzzing. Am I just doing the same thing?
Yeah. Modify.
That's what I was talking about. Take one more check.
Cool.
No, change.
Yeah. Now we just delete these 4 lines.
Yeah.
And then
So string concatenation in FSharp, you just add them together or you have to string
It's just
plus?
plus.
No, you can add them together.
Cool. Awesome. So is fizzy then?
don't we need a
Plus
buzz?
is
Yeah, you need to note down.
We need a map.
Whoops.
No, you can call it something.
Yeah.
No
Something.
worry.
And then put that below the is fizzy and is buzzy.
The whole
And then
function.
all the
Yeah.
functions.
Or put. Yeah, right.
All those are.
Just because I'm difficult. Whoops. Ah. Redo. I shouldn't be difficult. Cut. Paste. Oh, look at me. Yeah.
Oh,
F5? Which one's F5? That one. Need a keyboard where the letters aren't worn out.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
person left in check.
Now you could do
Can you put if is buzzy and this fizzy
Yeah, that's what I read.
or
So
something like
if
that?
it's empty string, then print.
If it's empty string. In the let check, the next line, if put
In.
is fizzy equal empty string and this buzzy equal empty string.
Where am I doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
Two
maybe
lines-
it's
two
in
lines
line 3.
above.
Maybe if we
Two line-
separated
up here?
the is busy and is buzzy from the returning of the strings, that'd all read out a little bit better. So if we've got an is busy and is buzzy that are doing balls, and then a buzz and a fizz function that,
Cool.
something like that.
So let
I
something
actually think there
equal
might be
that
a
bottom line.
different way of extracting it and getting rid of the repetition. Because the repetition here is your if else, and the only thing that varies is the number, right? So you could start by, and we can extend it further, start by making is busy and buzzy a function that either takes a 3 or a 5 and the string, and keeps the structure, and then you just create a, so create a, I don't know,
What is?
yeah, is that takes your divisor, so type divisor, and your str for string, and your n equals, go down one line, and then just copy your previous implementation from is busy, and just replace the hard-coded bits with the variables.
and mod
So
divisor.
divisor,
Three
just put
divisor.
the 3 and change divisor. Yep. And fizz with your string. And then you can now change your yeah.
Hands down.
Just a quick check, keep going. Yep. Anyone can do it, you don't even have to think.
Oh, for God's sake.
Good right hand, but you people make me sick.
Replace is fizzy and is buzzy.
What are we doing here anyway?
It is.
It's fizzy equals 3.
Is fizzy and buzzy. Yeah. So delete the method body of that. All of it.
What are we doing here? Is
Is space 3. Fizz
Okay.
as a string.
all right.
Yeah.
If you want to be really fancy, you can drop the n.
Yeah, we can delete the n, right?
You can delete the n
Yes.
in both places.
From the top line and here.
Really?
Yeah. Is fizzy equal is 3 fizz.
Oh yeah. So it's
Cool.
yeah.
You could even, so if you got fancy now, put the pipe in there, 3 is fizz.
All right.
Stop.
So much more readable.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Hey, love someone else's keyboard.
So shit.
Just install the vim. And please take out the edit in the signature. Get rid of the N from his buzzy.
Buzzy.
Yeah. Sorry.
If you will enable
You can
the
hover
long
the
numbers,
hover
it
the
will be much
mouse
easier.
over the definition to show you the type signature.
Is everyone clear how that is fizzy works?
No.
So kind of. It's a little bit annoying that this Visual Studio isn't showing up the types, but actually will if you hover over is. Just close that. Stop.
Oh god.
Hover over is.
Just stop it, and then hover over the is. Yep. So the type of is int, arrow, string, arrow, int, arrow, string, right? So what that's saying is it's a function that takes an int and returns a function that takes a string that returns a function that takes an int that returns a string, right? So if we call is
Simple.
pass in the integer and the string, we're doing a partial application, and we're getting back a function that takes the remaining parameter, which is your int, and returns a string, and which is what we want is fizzy to be. So if you hover over is fizzy now, it is an int to string, because that's what is returns if you only pass two of its things.
Yeah, so is fizzy and is buzzy are defining functions.
So that idea of your function being broken down into functions that return functions,
That's
it's called
currying.
currying. Yeah. And when you don't pass all your parameters to a curried function, it's called a partial application.
How do we make it better?
Yeah.
Apply for the return value of if is a string and that is a string and a number to the string and the divisor, and the divisor will return that type with the n and the string or the int, and then pipe it through to something that takes a divisor type and either concatenates, returns the string, or return the number.
Is there a plugin that does
Might
this?
be a bit-
Is there a plugin that do I press F6 and that happens? What do we want to type? Somebody give me some
Can
letters.
you make it one line?
Make it one line.
No, I want to see it as one line too.
Do you mean is fizzy
The
or?
problem is
Yeah.
the
Check.
the repeating
I think we
of
need to create them to check.
Let's see, just make sure you sign that.
Yeah.
Those have to go.
So if we make a new method,
Where do we want it? Top.
yeah, somewhere up there. I'm just crowdsourcing here as an idea. We have a method that takes in a string and a number, and if the string is empty, then it puts the number in the string and
God.
returns that instead.
Sorry, what was the rest?
Yeah, perfect. It takes in a string, str,
str.
Pretty sure that's cyberbullying.
and then yeah, so
String.
then n,
And
yeah,
yep,
and then equals,
equals.
yeah,
Enter.
yeah, str.len.
Oh,
Is it the other way around? Is it len of?
Keep going.
Somebody else's problem. You can just do
Keep
string
going.
dot
Something
length.
else. Not sure. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Tell everyone how easy it was being on the keyboard.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Is that the right key? It was F6.
All right. What do I type? Len of string. Is that what we're doing? Is that a thing?
There is the brackets.
Nah.
If you want to get the string thing, you have to give the string variable a type.
Oh. How do I give it a type? Do I use a colon like this?
So I think you can probably do
Like this?
string dot length and pass the strings to it. That probably is it. Yeah.
I don't think you need one on n yet.
So if you back off what you just did, yeah, and then delete len, type capitals before all that, type capital string, yeah, dot. I think there's a length function.
Yeah, length, yeah.
Yep. Little L length. Pass the string to it.
Okay.
Is that better for any reason?
So the reason why you can't do stir dot length there is because the compiler doesn't know what type stir is.
Yeah.
Because if you go dot, I guess it happens after the stir. It's like, well, I don't know what stir is, so I don't know what you're talking about here. Whereas, because you're using string length on string, it goes, well, string length takes a string, so therefore stir must be a string, and therefore it works. It's just a type inverse.
Is it better to do that than explicitly tell if the stir is a string in the function signature?
If there will be engineering.
It's cheekier.
You could do either way.
Do they have inline comparison?
Sorry?
Inline comparison, so question mark and colon?
Oh, you mean like ternary expression? No, you have to use if then. If then else is your ternary expression.
Okay.
If then else is an expression.
So,
So wrap it in an if then.
but what if we want to use like a match? Like, can someone walk me through how to use that?
What are we trying to do?
Like a match expression. Well, we want to have this function so that
Yeah. Well, he wants to check if it's empty, right?
Yeah.
So you can match string against empty string.
So you can say match space, yeah, and then
And
with
if
on on the end. No, on the end of the line.
So match str with,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then what?
And then you can
Remove that line.
you need pipe,
Yep,
empty string, arrow.
like that.
Yep. And then whatever you want to return.
And yeah,
String.
string. Whoa. This is, I actually have a Surface Book, so I have no excuse.
And then you want to keep matching. So what do you want to do when
Is
it's
it-
not an empty string? So pipe.
Is it like this?
Yep.
Is that how I do a?
Just,
That's
Otherwise?
how you ignore it.
yeah.
Do you actually want to ignore it or you want to do something with it?
We want to return it if it's not empty.
Okay, so you don't want to ignore it then, you want to give it a name. So by putting an underscore there, you've said I don't care what it is.
But
So
can't you
we're-
just return STR, so you don't actually
Oh,
ignore it.
you could do it like
So you're saying that I could put X here and return X. Now that sounds more obtuse. Let's do that. Okay, now we have Scott's crap.
Yeah.
Now how do we use it?
Yep. Down in the check N,
Yeah.
call Scott's crap of that.
Yeah.
And delete it.
Okay, are you saying that I delete this, and now I just return Scott's crap of this? Is that it? Do I have to do this?
Yeah.
And then you need the N, pass in N.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Space.
Space N?
N. Yeah. Or remove the two N's.
Huh?
No,
No, you need
right?
no.
This is so much better.
Yeah.
You could just look at this and know what it does. Functional is all about job security, right? All right.
That's why the function's called Scott's crap.
Yeah.
So you know who wrote it.
The life's the functional languages.
The compile time's really quick too.
So all going away.
Did you run it or just boost?
I thought I hit F5, but I guess not.
You can say. Just touch the.
It still works. Okay. Are we done, or should we put on Azure Functions, or?
Are we done? Do you want to keep going?
But what would we do?
It's been done for a while, really.
I mean, you could put this all in just main, and it would be much better of a program.
We could put a match on 3 and 5 rather than.
there's a very different way of doing it.
Yeah, what's that?
Do you want to make
Demo.
Would it, yeah, demo. Would it be easy just to show us?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Really good timing. Do you want me to type it out or you just want to see it? No, I'll type it
No,
out.
I want to type it out, I think.
I'm going to bring this.
So according to Stack Overflow.
No. Well, I guess I don't. Yeah, right, let's see. Okay, so what's what I found interesting from what we had before, so I'm just gonna undo our way back a bit to here, right? Is you'll notice we have some commonality in is and check. They're both basically, well, except for this bit here, they're doing this comparison with against a modulo. It's just the difference between is and check, ignoring that else part, is that check does it with more than one, and is does it with just one divisor. So you could generalize this further and say that you could have many divisors, and this is when you have many divisors, you're just doing an ampersand between, you're doing an and between all of them, right? So what we want to do is basically loop over each of the divisors that we pass in and do the check and then and them all together. So to do that, what we can do is we can say, so if we've got our divisors, we want to fold over them, and what that does is basically just do a loop. So a fold is something that takes a function that takes each item in the list, and I'll get to what all the parameters are. It takes... So what it's going to do is it's going to go over each item in that divisor list, and we're going to get this little anonymous function here will get called for each item in the list. It will be passed each item in the list in that I, and S will be what the previous function invocation returned, right? So effectively, you're basically folding over the list, doing something to each item, combining it into a state and returning it.
It's like array.reduce in JavaScript.
I'm sorry?
Array.reduce.
Yes, reduce and fold are sort of the same thing. The difference between reduce and fold is that reduce expects a list that's not empty, whereas fold it can deal with a list that's empty because you have to give it a starting value. So here the starting value for, if we're doing ands, the start value should be true, right? Because we want to and against true. So S is our state, I is our divisor, so I'm just going to call it D. And what we'll say here is we want to take our n and do our modulo against our divisor, and then if it's 0, we and that off against the previous result. So this is basically going and through that list. Now that we have that expression, we can toss it into the if, because that's going to return a bool, right? Now the other thing I would suggest here is that a better way of structuring this might be that you return your string in a list, because that allows you to sort of be optional, and you'll see why that's kind of useful in a bit. So if we have...
Instead of doing the fold, I think you could do list.all.
List.all?
Which is...
Sure. Yeah, that's good. Good call.
Explicit.
Or do we have...
Or every. Each.
Can you sum?
I forget what it's called in FSharp.
If you can sum, you can add all
But some would require a number.
You just sum all the remainders of the modulo.
Oh, maybe 4 or...
And
Because
then
if they're all equal to 0, then
you
0.
could do it that way. I thought, yeah, there might have been one for an all. For all? Yeah, good call. Yep, for all.
One's a sequel, it's not as good.
Nice. Yeah, good call. Oops. What the hell just happened?
Page down.
Yeah, nice. So that function now takes a list of divisors, a string, to return if it does match those divisors. Otherwise, we can return an empty list. But really, what we want to return is a number, because this function is basically returning what we want to print, right? So if it's not one of those, if it's not fizz or buzz or FizzBuzz, we want the number. So we'll just say string of n here. So then what we can do is we can build up a function with our FizzBuzz check. So FizzBuzz check n equals, and then what we want to do is say is 3 fizz n, and then that's going to return a list. So we're going to concatenate our lists together. This needs to be inside a list.
Wish they could use plus plus.
Yeah, I know. I tried that before. I had to go look up the doco because it's plus plus and Haskell.
I think you're funkier than that.
And it's not a comma in lists, it's a semicolon, which is something that you trip up on sometimes. And so this might actually be, like, you don't need it here, but to me it probably, oh God, you can't do that in Visual Studio. You might be clearer if you just put parentheses around it, or alternatively we could just break this onto lines so it reads a bit nicer. Like
Is that
this.
string anything right though?
Sorry?
In the function above. Won't the first thing return n? if the number is 2. Oh, if the number is 5, the first.
It'll be 2, 2.
First argument.
It'll be
Second
2 empty string.
Yeah, or
Like, let's say the first you passed is the number 5.
Yes.
And you're doing the first check is 3.
that'll return a string.
When it return 5?
That'll return 5.
You mean it'll return both of them?
It'll return 3 buzz.
3 buzz.
5 buzz, sorry.
Yeah.
It'll return 5 and then it'll hit the next check and return buzz and then it won't return. So if his buzz check of 5 will return
Yeah,
5
that's a good
buzz,
point.
right?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's actually,
You probably need to return empty collection, and at the end you need to do is with an empty.
We need to do all the numbers at the end. And the last
Now we need to work out what happens if we pass it an empty set.
Yeah, but if you will pass the empty collection in the is, empty collection of divisors, it will automatically fall to the else statement.
yeah, it will. It will.
So,
But don't do that.
yeah. If at the end you return, if at the end you return n and then just ask for the first item on there.
Yes.
Yeah, the first item on there.
That FizzBuzz will be
Sorry, last item on there and put n at the top.
The last. Spell out the key presses I've got to
Right,
do.
so FizzBuzz either needs to be at the top and then it needs to return the number at the bottom, or the number needs to be at the top of FizzBuzz at the bottom and return the last item. Because FizzBuzz is your most specific check.
Yep.
So put that at the very top as your very first line.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
And then and fizz. So next line down, put a at symbol.
Yep.
Yep. And then down the very, very, very bottom,
string it.
string exactly what you had in the else before. So a list of string containing n.
Are you sure that's going to do what you think it's going to do?
It'll
And then
take the last.
Because this is concatenating lists together, so it's not.
It will give
and
you
should
Yeah,
that
so it
just
should
give you
fall
the
through.
first? And then if you ask for the first item,
Yeah.
because when that runs through it, if we pass in 15, it'll return FizzBuzz,
Yep.
nothing, 15.
That's FizzBuzz.
But yeah.
Yeah. If it
The
will,
logic applies. Take the first one.
So do we? Maybe I'm misunderstanding the problem in the first place. Do we actually want to print a number every single time?
Yes.
no.
No.
No, not every single time.
Only if you don't get a match.
None of those are found, then you have to print a number.
So that will print a number every single time.
If you take the first.
You take the first item
Yeah.
there.
Because you've got a list now. He's saying that if you pipe this and do like dot first,
Oh.
get the first element,
Yeah.
then we're golden.
Right.
Super
Very
good program.
Yeah, okay.
Golden.
Yeah.
Is that short circuit?
Do we want to keep going? We're done.
let's figure out.
Yeah, I don't like my solution as much anymore.
I think you're onto something about sort of mapping it straight through onto other things and generalizing more.
Could you take the list and map it to a series of rules? Going from most
Yeah,
specific
just-
to least specific.
Yeah.
Mapping
So
in
take the
rule.
array, if it's mod 15, then replace it with the word
Yeah.
buzz.
Well, if you actually used a match like we were going to, and just mapped through a match function with the most specific rule down to the least specific rule, that would work.
Yeah, that'll work really nicely.
Yeah.
We should make this run first.
How do you take the first element out of this list?
You can.
Can't we pipe the whole thing to like
In the main.
Yeah, so we can.
slice one or first or list dot take one? Or... Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So that'll take the first off the list.
So we're good.
Yeah, so that should work.
I'm not sure it's better anymore though.
It's different. Yeah.
It's
But we
different.
all understand it.
Yeah,
So
that's
our
good.
jobs are secure.
Why don't we wire it into the rest of it? So in here we basically want to pass it into a list dot. So collect. Come on, show me the IntelliSense. Collect takes a function that takes each item and then expects you to produce a list and then flattens all the lists into a single one. It's like select many.
Just
That's
return a
not
list or an
returning a
item.
list though, is it?
True, it returns an item. So we don't need that. Okay, so then we just need map.
Just undo that. Change check
Cool.
to change check to
Yeah. Good.
this one's true. It's good.
complete the other